It was early March of 2019. I was driving from Harrisburg to Pittsburgh, about a 4-hour trip through central Pennsylvania. I'd done that drive maybe 5 or 6 times before, but never alone, and never at night. My brother had just moved to Pittsburgh for work, and I was bringing him some of his things, a TV, a few boxes of clothes, and a guitar that wouldn't fit in his car when he first moved out. The drive started fine. I left just after 8 p.m., figuring I'd get there before midnight. The highway was mostly empty. A little fog, light drizzle, nothing unusual. About 2 hours in, I stopped for gas and a coffee at a 24-hour station just off Route 19. I remember the cashier, older guy with gray hair, warning me that fog tends to get bad through the forest stretch after 10 p.m. I laughed it off, told him I'd be careful, and got back on the road. He wasn't kidding. Within half an hour, the fog got thick. Real thick. My high beams just made it worse, so I drove slow, about 40. The road wound through miles of forest. No houses, no lights. Just trees and fog swallowing my headlights. That's when I first saw him. Up ahead, through the fog, was what looked like a person, just standing on the side of the road. At first I thought maybe someone's car had broken down. I slowed down, flicked my brights on for a second. The figure didn't move. Just stood there, half turned toward the woods. As I got closer, I realized he was wearing something strange. Not a coat, but like a heavy brown hoodie with the hood up and a mask. Or maybe just something over his face. I couldn't tell. I rolled my window down slightly, thinking about asking if he was okay. But before I could, he stepped backward into the trees. I waited for him to come back out, but he didn't. So I kept driving. For the next few miles, I couldn't stop glancing in my mirrors. Every time my headlights hit a tree, I thought I saw someone standing there. I told myself I was being paranoid. About 15 minutes later, I passed an old sign for a rest stop. My nerves were shot, and I needed a break. The lot was small, maybe 4 parking spots, a single vending machine, and 1 flickering light. I pulled in, parked near the light, and killed the engine. It was dead quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. I stepped out, stretched, and walked toward the vending machine. Then I heard footsteps. Not behind me, not close, but somewhere off in the woods, slow crunching steps on gravel or leaves. I froze and waited. The footsteps stopped too. After a few seconds, I convinced myself it was an animal. I bought a soda, got back in the car, and locked the doors. As I was opening the bottle, something tapped my rear passenger window. Tap, tap. I dropped the drink, started the car, and threw it into reverse. My headlights caught something moving by the trees. Tall, wearing that same brown hoodie. I didn't wait to see his face this time. I peeled out of the lot and back onto the road. The next 15 minutes were a blur. I kept checking my mirrors, gripping the steering wheel so tight my hands hurt. At one point, I noticed headlights behind me, distant at first but closing fast. I thought maybe it was a truck or another driver. But when the car got closer, I realized its lights were off. Just the faint glow of parking lights. The vehicle, maybe a sedan, stayed several car lengths behind me. Every time I slowed down, it slowed too. When I sped up, so did it. Finally, I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. But there was no signal. I looked back again. The car's lights had disappeared. Gone completely. I was shaking. My first thought was to pull over and hide my lights. But before I could decide, my phone buzzed. 1 bar of service. I called 911 again, explained what was happening. The dispatcher kept me on the line and told me to head toward a nearby gas station about 6 miles ahead. Those were the longest 6 miles of my life. Halfway there, my headlights caught movement again, not in front, but to the side. That same brown hoodie. The man was standing behind the guardrail, staring toward the road. He wasn't walking. He was waiting. I floored it. My car fishtailed, but I didn't care. When I finally saw the lights of the gas station, I almost cried. I pulled in, parked right in front of the entrance, and ran inside. The attendant looked at me like I was insane. I asked him if anyone else had come through, maybe wearing a brown hoodie. He said no. No one had stopped there in hours. A state trooper arrived about 20 minutes later. He took my statement, then went to check the road near the rest stop. When he came back, his face looked tight. He told me they found footprints, just one set, leading from the woods to the lot. And near the vending machine, they found something else. A cheap plastic Halloween mask. White, with holes carved crudely for eyes. I don't drive at night anymore. If I have to travel, I leave early, no matter how inconvenient. Every now and then I think about that man, the way he stood there waiting as if he knew where I'd stop. The trooper said there were reports of similar encounters that month. People seeing someone walking along Route 19 late at night, sometimes trying to flag cars down, sometimes just standing in the fog. They never caught him, but sometimes when I drive past that stretch of forest in daylight, I see the guardrail where he stood, and every time I wonder if he's still out there, waiting for nightfall.